Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to Dominion Sport, where the stories don't just happen, they move you. This morning, African is still buzzing. AFCON 2025 gave us drama, controversies, pride, and champions, as Senegal are the kings of the continent once again. But not without chaos VAR decisions, walk-offs, and saved Panelka, extra time tension, and a final that will be talked about for years. And while the trophy slipped away, Nigeria still climbed the podium. 5 wins, 2 draws, 14 goals, 4 clean sheets. Not the perfect, powerful, but we asked the big questions. Was the Super Eagles team good enough to win it at all? From Africa to Europe, and the Premier League top 4 stumble again. The pressure mount and the title race still keeps twisting. Over on in the world of tennis court, it's business as usual for Carlos Alcaraz as the Australian Open, while upset and statements continues to fly. Back home, the NPFL is delivering proper stories. Bendel Insurance, remarkable turnaround under Kennedy Boboye, Ekem Okon onto the familiar ground, and Oko shock result shaking the table. This is speed, this is passion, this is perspective. You're welcome to Dominion Sport, and it's start now. I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi, and I'm not alone in the studio. I have Nuruddin himself joining us on the show this morning. Top of the morning to you, my brother. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. Good morning, Toluwanimi. Good morning, Nigeria. It's nice to be back here. It was an exciting events happened all over the world in the world of sports, from football, tennis, basketball, and I'm so glad to be here to talk about that.
I agree with you. So quick one. Our story majorly is going to start off from the AFCON. A fantastic, game over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and we enjoyed that. Let me start off with you. How did you enjoy the AFCON so far? Was it something you wanted? How did you perceive the energy, from the Moroccans?
AFCON was AFCON. It came with the drama, it came with the spice, came with different controversies. We saw fans become heroes. We saw team falter when they were supposed to move on. We saw around football for some teams, if you would like to describe it that way. And at the end of the day, Senegal were champions yesterday. It was with drama as well. It came with drama, and that just describes AFCON the way we know it. We know it about it.
All right, let's start off with the champions already. Come on, fantastic one for the Teranga Lions of Senegal. A fantastic victory. We saw what they were able to do last night, and so much drama, so much chaos. VAR get involved in that one also. We saw so much, from the manager of, the Senegalese, and also we saw sportsmanship from Sadio Mane, leadership quality. From him. Take me through, what happened last night between the Atlas Lion and also the Teranga Lions of Senegal.
It was the showpiece game of the finals of the 2025 AFCONs, and we expected fireworks, and did it deliver? Wow, it did deliver. Senegal played their hearts out on the field. The Moroccans came with the fans and all. It was colorful in the stadium, and on the pitch, it was so beautiful football. The goalkeepers, for both teams that had strong defense throughout the competition, they didn't concede much going into the final. We saw a bit more open play from both of them. There were saves from both goalkeepers in the opening half of the game, and that showed you what you expected as the game progressed. And did it deliver at the end? Yes, it did. It stretched until the time Senegal got a goal during the game. It got disallowed, I think rightly, by the referee, because there was a push on the Moroccan defender in the box while they were trying to score the goal, and I think that was right call from the referee. Then fast forward to some minutes later, probably like last kick of the game, Brahim Diaz had the chance to win the trophy for the Moroccans on home soil and cement his name in African folklore. But he tried to be cheeky and say.
I want to ask you quickly. Do you think that was sportsmanship or maybe fair play? Because when we looked at it, we saw the drama, and it looks like the manager of Senegal, Tao, was trying to make so much pressure on the Moroccans, and it looks like the pressure mounted more on Brahim Diaz. And I'm wondering. I don't know why. I still believe that was scripted. I want to believe that was scripted.
That wasn't scripted. That's football. It happens
at that moment.
And that moment it wasn't scripted, because I don't think anybody would pass on the chance of cementing your name in African folklore, like I said before. On home soil, last kick of the game, win the trophy for the second time, your name will be sung for days and years in the Moroccan streets, and you're telling me He's showing short sportsmanship. That's not sportsmanship. He just tried to be wise, and Edomandi was calm, and he came the ball calmly from the cheeky Paneka he tried to score yesterday. So it wasn't, to answer your question, it wasn't sportsmanship.
It wasn't script.
It wasn't script. It was just rather pure football chaos that happened yesterday.
Okay, let's quickly talk about the officiating of that game. We saw the goal from the Senegalese. Ismail Ansar getting the goal, but it was chopped off because of the foul on the Ashraf Hakimi. And people were wondering, why didn't you check that decision? Why didn't you go to the VAR? But according to report and what we saw in that game, the referee already blew the whistle even before the goal was in the net. And also, we saw the final decision of the game, and then the foul on Brahim Diaz. For you, how was the officiating in this year's AFCON and towards the final?
The officiating was poor. Africa can do better than that, and for the last AFCON at Ivory Coast, we saw matured officiating from the officials. We saw decisions that were right on time, and they were even compared to their European counterparts during the AFCON in Ivory Coast, and everybody gave kudos to them for what they did. But moving on to this year's AFCON, it was in shambles. There were questionable calls in lots of games, most especially for the old side and a lot of the North African sides in this competition. So I think CAF should watch out for that and prepare more for that, because there have been talks about them favoring them both on the field, with tournaments, with decisions, with awards and it all. So I think CAF need to look into that and fix that problem that is marring the African continent. There were significant critical calls from the referees in the semi-finals against Nigeria. I know a lot of Super Eagles fans wouldn't agree with what happened with some of the decisions they made. Same as the third place match between Nigeria and Egypt, there were questionable calls from the officials as well. And it moved on to the final, even though I'll rate the referee officiating for the final a 7 or a 8, because he got his decision spot on, even though with the jeers and boos from the home fans. He was calm at the moment and got his decisions were spot on. But overall, I'll give them a 5 over 10 for the whole competition. But in the final, a 7. That was manageable yesterday.
Okay, all right. Definitely, we're still talking about the AFCON final. Why not drop your comment right there on the YouTube section, and also like, share, and follow. Let somebody be part of this conversation. What do you think about this year's AFCON 2026? Was it delightful for you? Was it awesome? What moment did you enjoy more right there in the AFCON? Before we move away from celebrating the champions, let's talk about that moment. From the Senegalese manager Papetao, telling his team to walk up the field, and we saw leadership quality from Sadio Mane.
That was disgraceful from the Senegalese coach. That's show you he didn't have the spirit of sportsmanship. He could have turned the other way if Senegal had lost the game.
And to me, I saw it was bringing shame not only to the game, to African football.
Yes, because that's the biggest showpiece game of the continent, and you're telling your players, because the decision didn't go your way in the game, you're telling your players to walk off. That's disgraceful. And I saw that the Egyptian coach mentioned that in his post-match conference, even though he congratulated him and all. But if it had turned the other way, I don't think we'll see a very palatable response from the Senegalese coach at the end of the game. So it was disgraceful, showpiece game of the tournament. You are telling your players to walk off. But kudos to Mane. He managed the situation well, and that's to show you why he's well regarded both on the home soil and the European scene. I
agree. All right. Let me just inform you that Senegal in the last 4 AFCON has been 2019, they got to the final. 2021, they won the AFCON championship. Also, 2023, they got to the round of 16. 2025, they became champion. So why not?
It shows you the progression of the Senegalese side. They are one of the strongest sides in Europe. And the yesterday game was the 2 games between the top ranking teams on the FIFA rankings. The 2 top teams from Africa faced themselves off, and we saw fireworks, and that's what we want to see from football. The beautiful part, not the chaos part.
I agree. Beautiful. All right, let's move away from that story. Let's move straight to the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. For you, fantastic run for them in this AFCON. How would you rate their performance? How would you rate Eric Shell's performance? And generally, I think they wanted more, but they could not just put their hands on the trophy. But they were able, to finish on the podium, getting bronze.
That's a consolation for them. They played beautiful football. I think this is one of, like I said last week, this is one of the best Super Eagles side we've seen over a while. They controlled the game, and it wasn't just about the tactics they displayed on the field of play. The personnel they employed, they were spot on, they were brilliant, and it was evident that they were the team to beat at the tournament. They fell short in the semis to the host Moroccans, but at the end of the day, it's football. You have to make do with what you get. And for Excel's performance, I rate him a 7. He got his tactics right, and I think he brought in the right players. There were a lot of players that left, senior players that left the team before the tournament because they didn't get the call up, and some of them actually spent their time with the national team. But the replacements in the likes of Ako Adams, Bruno Oyemachi, they were fantastic in the tournament. And moving forward, I will see they will see the places they had problem, replacement in the midfield. Because what actually cost them in the semi-finals against Morocco was the absence of Ndidi. And I think it was a needless yellow card he got where they was trying to get off the pitch in the quarters. So I think they need to work on that and galvanize the team together and prepare for the next AFCON.
I agree. Before we move away from that, let me just inform you that the record is 5 wins, 2 draws, 14 goals scored, 4 clean sheets, and the finished third. Now, we're just going to ask you what next for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Remember, we're not going to play the FIFA World Cup, which come on later this year.
That's sad
it's sad for
the type of football they played in this AFCON. The Super Eagles, I mean, for the kind of football they played in this AFCON, you're supposed to see that quality of football progress from this and move into the world stage. And I know they will do very well because what do you mean? The sides that qualified from Africa for the showpiece events in USA and Canada later this year, they don't seem like they can match the Super Eagles in type of match and personnel. And the players are buzzing. They're in Europe. They are flying high in the pitch right now. And Osimhen is flying. We saw what he's doing with Galatasaray. Iwobi is on point. Ola Aina is back. Bruno Oyemachi is doing well. There are lots of exciting players in the Super Eagles.
So definitely, these are the players you want to see at World Cup.
Those are the players you actually want to see. But
it is what it is.
This is what it is. So they have to move on now and prepare for 2027 AFCON. The qualifiers will start rolling in very soon, and they'll know their opponents, and we'll see what happens at the end of the year.
All right, let's see what happens for the Super Eagles of Nigeria going forward with coach Eric Seko Shells with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we hope that he remains the manager and also the tactician.
Because we know the history of Nigeria with coaches and there are talks about other African countries offering him huge money just to come back to shoot challengers to their side. But we'll see what the NFF and those in charge of football in Nigeria do at the end of the day.
All right, let's talk about the NPFL quickly, and I'll be informing the result over the weekend. The match day 21 result, fantastic one, for some teams away from home and the home soil. Let me inform you that Kano Pillars, are lost to Abia Warriors 1-0. Bayelsa United picked up the victory against Shooting Star Football Club. Nasarawa United against Niger Tornadoes. The game ended 2-1. Bendel Insurance against El Kanemi Warriors. The game ended 3-2. Rivers United against Remo Stars, defending champions. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Rivers United. Coach Finidi George picking up the victory against Remo Stars. Eyimba against Barao. The game ended goalless. Ikorodu City against Kwara United. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Ikorodu City. Also, Plateau United against Wiki Tourist. Bengal Gubote is still on firm front right there for Plateau United. 1 draw and a win right there in 2 games. And also still to come today, we have Warriors are going to take on Castina United. And we have Kun Khalifa against Rangers International. Let's start off with the major games that happened in the match day 21 of the NPFL. Let's start off with Rivers United against Remo Stars. Did you see that victory for Coach Finidi George?
Oh, it was excellent for him, and for him to maintain he's at top of the pile right now, and he wants to keep the momentum up. And we know Finidi George, even though he had a burst into the national team last year during the World Cup qualifiers and AFCON qualifiers, for him on the home soil, he's a veteran and he knows what he's doing. And I think he's the man to beat in the NPFL this season. Okay, and he got the victory against the defending champions. From that was very good for him.
Fantastic one. Let's talk about Plateau United against Wiki Tourist. Bengal Gubote just appointed and he's doing something great right there. The Oracle himself.
We spoke about him last week. He got a vital point away from home, and now we said he's going to get the victory. Definitely going to get the victory at home, and we see what he's doing with the likes. And for him to have players that he's worked with before in the likes of Akpan, that's a very good boost for him. And I think once they hit the ground running over time, we'll see a different Plateau side from the one we saw in the first half of the season. All
right, let's talk about Kennedy Boboye. If we can have that, stats for Kennedy Boboye this season. Fantastic run of form. Look at what he has done, with Bendel Insurance, where they were in 19th position right here, and where they are at this point in time. Fantastic run.
That is to show you when you bring the man that knows his onions, it's going to get the job done. Just give him the right personnel. Kenneth Boboye is not a newbie, he's not a rookie on the Nigerian scene. He's with Sunshine Stars, with a lot of teams over the years, and I think now with Bendel Insurance, it's turned the ship around for them. They were sinking before, it's patched up the holes in their ship, and they are on 10 games unbeaten now. They've won 9 games and drew just 1, I think. So that's to show you a side that is ready to progress, and it's turned it around. They're looking at a different side now. If they keep the momentum, I see them finishing well above the relegation table and even maybe the top half of the table by the end of the season.
All right, talking about the table, let's just head straight and look at what's happening at the log of the table in the NPFL. Fantastic result. There you have it on the screen. Rivers United are topping the log of the table right there with 41 points. Following through is Abia Warriors on second position with 37 points. Ikorodu City right there third on the log of the table, 35 points. Nasarawa United on fourth. We have Bendel Insurance fifth and Shooting Stars Football Club. And looking at the relegation battle, we have Wiki Tories, we have Plateau United, Kano Pillars, and Kun Khalifa. It looks like Kano Pillars have jumped out of that relegation. Still 19, Plateau United 18, Wiki Tories 17. Quickly, let's talk about Shooting Star Football Club. They lost away from home at Bayelsa United 2-0. For you, it's a win today, a loss tomorrow, a draw next week. The momentum is not kicking right for coach Nuruddin and his boys. But come on, what do they need to do perfectly going away from home to get results?
They need to score more goals. That's actually the problem. I thought that was one of the reasons they brought back Lucky and I think they scored 3 goals over the weekend, but they conceded 2 in Ozoro yesterday. It was sad for them because they couldn't consolidate on the victory they had against Enyimba during the week for the resumption of the NPFL. So I think they need to do better in terms of chance creation and putting the ball in the back of the net. They had a bit of chance. Lucky had about 2 chances yesterday, and that was the problem I raised last week when it was unveiled. His conversion rate is poor. It's not that prolific, but maybe over the time he's going to get the hang of it and get back into the scoring form. Away from home is difficult in the NPFL, but they should be doing better if they want to challenge for the title. They are part of the chasing pack. They are 32 points with Bendel Insurance. You just need a run of games. That should show you what happens when you build momentum. For Kenneth Boboye's side, they are 10 games unbeaten now. They are the most informed team, arguably the most informed team in the league right now. They are building on Baggio there in the midfield for them. They seem to be controlling things, but the problem seems to lie in the final third. The highest goal scorer in the team is Omobere Ismail. I think he has 4 league goals for them. That's to show you how poor they are. If your leading goal scorer in the league has just 4 goals, there's no way you're challenging for the title. And even I know they're not challenging for the title right now.
They're looking for
a continental ticket, and for them to do that, they need to hit the ground running, score goals, get vital points. Bayelsa United are not a high-flying side at the moment. They don't seem to be.
Bayelsa sitting 13 on the
log, and even before the game, they were just a little bit above the relegation. It was the 3 points they got yesterday that pushed them, that propelled them. And same thing happened for the first game for Nuruddin in charge. He hasn't seemed to get over this Bayelsa United side. They lost to them at Lakers Salam Stadium 1-0, and now they are back. They went to Ozoro yesterday at Sanchez Stadium. They couldn't get the victory, and that's sad for them. So, like I said, they need to score more goals. They are creating a flurry of chances, but they need to score more goals. The defense still look a little bit tight. They are boosted. They have Tijani Manuel. They have Balagade came back from suspension yesterday, and so I think the defense is a little bit good for a team that wants to challenge for a continental ticket in the NPFL. But the problem seems to be in the final third of the game. Put the ball in back of the net, and you get yourself the ticket.
All right. What works for coach Nuruddin Weroro? We're yet to know about. Nuruddin is. Coach Nuruddin, okay, fantastic.
That's nice.
That's nice, actually. So Nuruddin is saying, Coach Nuruddin Aweroro needs to perfect the final third going forward for Shooting Stars.
They have a flurry of attackers in the team. Like I said, they have Ismail Omobere with the 4 goals. They have Promise Awusomi. They have Komora Adegoke. They have Lucky Yang. They have Sodiq Tijani. So they can turn things around for themselves. They just need to be more prolific, get the ball in back of the net, and you see yourself in the.
All right, talking of turning things around, Michael Carrick definitely is making Manchester United fans blush heavily. Over the weekend, the game ended 2-0 in favor of Manchester United, and Michael Carrick was able to cement his place as the caretaker manager to the end of the season. Fantastic goal right there from Brian Buemo, giving a pass from Bruno Fernandes, and also Patrick Dogu gets in the second goal for Manchester United. Trouble seems to be looming for Pep Guardiola, not having it yet easy to chase the tail for the Gunners. Let's talk about Michael Carrick for you. Most of Manchester United fans were worried, why not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, why Michael Carrick? But you look at what this man has done. Yeah, during his time at Manchester United, he has defeated, Unai Emery. You look at, Pep Guardiola yet again. You look at Mikel Arteta. Fantastic record for Michael Carrick. For this man, for you, is this the man to ship the boat right now for Manchester United?
It looks like the man for the job. He's turning things around, but let's not get distracted. It's just one game. It was more about the performance than the result at the end of the day.
Did you get the performance? Did you see a change in the performance?
It was exciting to see them, and for one thing that I think helped Michael Carrick during the game was he had the right personnel to prosecute the tactics he had in his head, because we could see the likes of Šeško, Zexi, on the bench. They couldn't. Zexi and Šeško couldn't even get on the field at the end of the day against Manchester City. That's to show you he had the right personnel. And I think that was one of the problems he had during the Ruben Amorim era. A lot of times there were no players to prosecute the ideas of the coach. Now in the switch to a back for the traditional back four, we saw Dogu make a switch on the left flank. He played the wing, and it was just fantastic for them. They were all over the pitch. They didn't give City the chance to turn around and make spaces. Foden was nowhere to be found on the pitch. Alan could just muster one shot, and it wasn't even on target. Yes. That's to show you how defensive
Manchester United
they were, and they closed down all the spaces. Maguire, Martinez, they were fantastic, and they hit City on the break. It was quick turnovers. They got the 2 goals. And they locked at the back of the...
I want to ask you, what's not working for Pep Guardiola? Because, you look at the run of form for him, it looks like he's chasing Arsenal. Arsenal has 7 points, even after their draw. What's not working for Pep Guardiola, this season again?
I just think it's the end of Guardiola's reign. And he's not that dominant again. And it was evident from last season, what happened last season. He still brought in, for the summer transfer window, he let some high-profile players leave. He brought in new players. He brought in Cherki, he brought in Tijani Reyners, he brought in a lot of players. And now in the winter transfer window, we see him reinforcing his side. He's gotten Maguire, he's gotten Anton Semedo, who hit the ground running in the first 2 games.
Yeah,
one of the things I think hampered their performance on Saturday was, I think they were fatigued. They played more games during the week. They played Newcastle and they played in the FA Cup. I think that affected their performance a bit, because you don't want to play United side that have players coming back and rested for over a week. Early kickoff. I think that was one of the things, but not an excuse.
Not an excuse. Yeah, I was about saying that. Not an excuse.
It's a squad game.
It's a squad game.
They were not able.
It's why you have. That's why you have substitutions.
Yes, United were excellent on the day. They didn't allow City to do anything, and the big names in the team for City, they couldn't turn up and get anything for them at the end of the day.
All right.
For Guardiola, I think it's time for him to move on. He's nearing the end of his reign at City. He's getting more evident day by day. So let's see what happens for him at the end of the season.
All right, let's see what happens at the end of the season for Pep Guardiola. Let's talk about the Gunners. They played at a goalless draw. And is it for Arsenal to lose? Or would you say this is not the time to start talking about the Gunners, botting up
It's
the
always
league?
been for Arsenal to lose since they went ahead on top of the table. For the past 2-3 seasons now, it's been Arsenal's to lose.
Losing to Nottingham, drawing to Nottingham Forest.
It wasn't the performance they wanted, but they couldn't get it over the line. Sean Dyche and his men, they locked everything down. They were excellent. They didn't allow the likes of Saka or Odegaard to find those nitty-gritty passes. Though they created some of those chances, but at the end of the day, they fell short and they couldn't put the ball at the back of the net. Another problem for Mikel Arteta is he has more of defensive-minded players for some games he's supposed to go all attack for. Imagine the likes of, you see things are not happening for you in the final third. You have Eze on the bench, you're giving him just 10 minutes to play. I think you need to infuse these players into the team. If your A-listers aren't getting it, that is why you have the bench. You have Madueke on the bench, you have Eze on the bench. You have Merino, you have players that can change the game around for you. Your Keres, if he's not hitting the back of the net, you have Jesus. You have players, Flori of Martinelli can make a shift for you as a centre forward. So I think you need to work on that, and for them to clinch the title at the end of the day, they are 12 wins away from winning the title now. they started the countdown. You know, Arsenal fans, if they go.
No.
So they have 12 games.
Out,
they have 12 games in possible 18 matches now. So that's good for them. Their closest rivals in City and Villa, they both dropped 3 points over the weekend. That gave Arsenal a chance to extend the lead by 7 points. They will play Manchester United this weekend. Let's see what happens at the end of the week.
All right, let's see what happens at the end of the week. Quickly, let me give you a result before we get straight down to the final story making the rounds of sports this wonderful morning in the world of tennis. Right there, the Australian Open. Let me just inform you that Chelsea and Liam Rossiner was able to pick up victory right there. 2-0. The game ended. João Pedro and Cole Palmer are getting on the score sheet for Chelsea. Trouble times for Oliver Glasner right there for Crystal Palace. The game ended 2-1. The Black Cats are picking up the victory on their home soil, the Stadium of Light. 2-1 in favor of Sunderland. And also let me inform you that Wolverhampton Wanderers yet again, it's been 3 draws and 2 wins in the last 5-6 games right there for the manager turning things around, but it's hope. I kind of hope take them out of the relegation battle. All right, there you have it in the world of football. Yeah,
the league football in Europe is getting exciting now.
I was about talking about that.
Barcelona lost
yesterday.
Madrid
are now
they won over the weekend, and they are just 1 point between them. The Serie A is in flurry of changes. AC Milan dropped points. Inter Milan dropped points. AC Milan picked up a point. Napoli, I think they drew over the weekend. So it's exciting in the world.
For me, actually, it's going to be happy times in European football this season. So definitely, you need to subscribe to Dominion Sport and make sure you subscribe to Dominion Television. Definitely, you have the chance to watch us and give you more updates in the world of sport. Nothing quickly, wrapping up the show. What do you have for us in the Australian Open?
The Australian Open, like you mentioned, it started yesterday in Australia, right there in Australia, in Melbourne. And there were games both in the WTA and the ATP games. Carlos Alcaraz is looking to complete his career Grand Slam this season, and that's very good for him. He got the straight set victory in the first opening round of the tournament. Iga Swiatek is back. She wants to defend her title. Aryna Sabalenka, she's the world #1 right now in the WTA. She's trying to get the career Grand Slam as well. She's trying to win the Australian Open, which she lost in the final last season. Venus Williams got a wild card, but she couldn't get past her opponent in the first round of the game. Jannik Sinner is the defending champion right now in Australian Open, and I think he's going to create the buzz. Everybody's looking for the big game of the tournaments in the Grand Slam these days. It's between Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. So is there going to be a newbie that is going to displace both of them? Is somebody going to write a new story? For Alcaraz, he lost his coach, or he departed ways with his head coach in the off-season. He now has a new team. When he was asked questions about it, he just said he still has the same team, apart from the head coach. Still the same set of players or same set of backroom staff he had last season in the Grand Slam. That was what he's still going to use to prosecute this season. Just the head coach that changed. So let's see what happens for him. He's chasing the career Grand Slam, like I said, looking to be the youngest man or the youngest athlete to complete the career Grand Slam. He's won the He's won the French Open. He's won the Olympic gold. He's won in every Grand Slam. He has all the bar the Australian Open. So I think that's the only thing that's left for him to complete. For Jannik Sinner, he's looking to defend the title and become to win the title for the 3rd time in a row. He won the last 2 in Australia, and he's looking formidable right now this season because in the exhibition leading to the competition and preparation for the Australian Open, he showed class, and we expect more from him. He's starting his defense tomorrow, early tomorrow in Australia. Like I mentioned earlier before, Venus Williams is out. Sabalenka got her victory. Coco Gauff too. During the night, she won her first round victory. She's progressed to the next round, and we still have lots of exciting news to share with you in Australian Open, as well as world #5 right now, Carlos Alcaraz. He withdrew from the tournament due to injury moments before he got it, and it was so sad for him because he started the game well. He won the first set. He dropped points again, and he couldn't continue after the medical timeout he had. So the Australian Open just started yesterday. Like I said, we still have loads and loads of exciting news to report from the Australian Open. All
right, fantastic. Definitely, we don't just talk football, we talk all-round sport, and definitely we'll be giving an update this week in the world of Formula 1. That was coming through from the Australian Open, so definitely you're going to enjoy more from the world of basketball, the NFL, a fantastic run of form in the world of boxing, the athletics, more to come right here on Dominion Sport. Once again, let me urge you to please subscribe to Dominion Television on YouTube. Make sure you share, make sure you like, make sure you drop your comment. And this is where we say our final goodbye on the Monday morning show right here on Dominion Television. I say a big thank you to the producer. I say a big thank you to the crew. And also I say a big thank you to Nuruddin. We have Monday motivation. So what do you have for us for Monday?
Keep doing sports.
Keep doing sport, really? Okay, definitely keep doing sport. I am Paul Abe Tolwanimi. We're going to see you again tomorrow, same station, same time. Have a fantastic week, blessed day, and bye for now.